I'm losing daylight by the minute here, so I better hurry up. Happy Sunday to you all. I'm going to attempt to do a tag that Thislittlepiggy41 came up with. Hello, Inez. So I thought I would give my 2 cents on some of these questions that she asked. The first question is, and I'm going to try to change Zoey as I'm talking. The first question is, what do you do to help the bonding process with your new baby? So basically, when that new baby comes home, after you've opened their box, what do you do to help cement that bond? Well, for me, it could go either way, because a lot of times I don't need to do anything. It's just already there. Like with Zoey and Lucas, it was there. It was there from when I seen them in clay form by their artist. It was there. But when I got my Scarlet sculpt, which is now Martine over at This Little Piggy, she adopted him from me. When I got that baby, I thought he was the cutest little baby. You know, I seen the pictures from Bonnie Brown. I thought he was adorable. The way Georgia painted him was exactly what I wanted. Exactly. I couldn't have asked for more. But when I got the baby and after I opened him, I literally felt nothing. Nothing for the baby. Like, I couldn't even tell you how crazy of a feeling that felt. I've only felt that one other way with another baby I had bought. But I had no feelings, and I took him out with me to the restaurant with my husband that same night to see if that was, going to help. And then another thing is I couldn't name him. I just could not find a name for that little boy that would stick. Now, he's just adorable. And I was asking myself, what the heck is wrong with me? Why can I not find a name for this little boy? And why am I feeling absolutely nothing for him? He's gorgeous. He's beautiful. Georgia did an amazing job on him, but I just didn't feel anything for the baby. And I don't know if it was because of the sculpt that I liked it, but I didn't really love it. Maybe that's why. I couldn't tell you guys, but I knew that he just wasn't meant for me. So I decided to sell him, and then that's when Inez adopted him, and she's smitten over him. Absolutely smitten. So it was meant to be. I tried a couple of things. I tried changing him. I did a bottle feeding. I took him out. I tried a couple of different bonding techniques, but I try not to force it. Because I found with myself, and I'm not speaking for everybody, but I found for myself, if I force it, what is the good in that? Because why am I going to keep a baby in my collection that I am not 100% smitten over? It doesn't make any sense to me because, the value of these babies are not cheap. So I can't have babies sitting in my nursery that I just don't have any feelings for. I have to love my babies that I have in my nursery, and I have to want to play with them. If I stop that, if I stop having that feeling towards them, then I know it's time for them to move on, to find a new mommy. So for me, yes, I take them out to the store. That helps the bonding. I spend one-on-one time with them. I try not to touch any of the other babies. I try to focus my time on them, cuddle them. I like to wrap them and swaddle them, feed them with the fake formula, and see if that will help. But if all that doesn't work, then I just know it's time to find a new mommy for the baby, and that happens. I used to beat myself up about it a lot. I used to worry about it. I used to worry what people would think. I used to worry about my subscribers. I used to worry about, you name it, I would worry. And I needed to stop worrying, because at the end of the day, I have to be happy with my decisions. You know, it doesn't matter if so-and-so says this or says that, or what so-and-so is going to think if I sell the baby. You know, I knew that people were going to maybe think, what the heck is wrong? You know, you just got this baby and you're selling them 2 days later. I mean, I knew that some thoughts were going to run through people's mind, but you know what? I'm sorry, you know, that I had to do that. It may have felt odd to some people, but for me, I can't force it. Not anymore. I used to try to force the bond, and I would drive myself crazy, but if it's just not there, it's just not there. And I'd rather have that baby go to some other mommy, be loved and spoiled and taken care of, than me force it, you know? So I hope that answered that question. Sometimes I veer off. Okay, 2. What do you do to keep the bond with your baby? Well, that kind of goes hand in hand with the process of the bonding. Like I said, I take my baby out. I do changing videos with them to kind of help the bond. Maybe I'll go out and buy a new outfit for them to help the bonding, make it last longer. But like I said, if it's not there, then I just, you know, in my heart, I know that it's time for that baby to move on. This is the 3rd optional question. She said, what do you do when you lose the bond and can't find the bond? Do you sell? Yes, most definitely. If you don't have the bond and you cannot make the bond happen, definitely I sell the baby, because in my collection, like I said many times, I can't afford to have X amount of babies and say, oh, you know, I'm going to put Mary, Joseph, and Sally away this week, and I'm going to play with the other 5. And then next month I can bring these out, because I can't afford that. Like, I have to sell those babies so then I can get new babies and have fun with those. You know, I wish I could keep all my babies that I didn't bond with, or maybe if I would have put them away a couple months and brought them out, it would feel like a new baby, but I just can't do that, you know, and no, you know, no hard feelings for people who do that. That's fine. It's your collection. I'm just saying that it wouldn't work for me. So yeah, the baby definitely has to find a new mommy if the bond is not there. I hope I answered all those questions, Inez. I hope I answered those the way you wanted them to be answered. You know what I mean? I just found that you can't force it, guys. You know, these are dolls. These are not real children. Even though we put emotions into them, we give them personality, it's us. It's up in our minds. You know, it's us controlling those feelings and those emotions. So I think that's why we put so much pressure on ourselves to force a bond, because it's us having that battle within ourselves when it has nothing to do with the doll. You know, the doll doesn't care if you sell it tomorrow or get a new one next week. But you as the viewer has a different perspective on that, because you're watching, you're tuning into my channel, you're invested in each baby and the personality that I project to the baby, to you. And that's why it's so hard when we see babies come and go from other people's nursery and channels, and we take it kind of hard, you know. Laura of Little X Love, she knew exactly about that, because if there was anybody who gave babies personalities, it was her. She was the queen at that. And we all fell in love with her babies, Prim and all of her other babies. And if she let one go, it was like letting go of one of her own children, because the fact that she invested so much time into them and personalities and little stories and skits, it made you just like, oh, why are you getting rid of that baby? And she used to come on and she used to say how much flack she would get and nasty little comments when she would sell a baby. But then after a while, I got what she was saying. Like, I really understood where she was coming from. And you know what? Babies come, babies go. And I finally understood that by me growing in the hobby and making videos. And now I have a lot of subscribers, and I know that some subscribers get very, hurt when I sell a baby. And now I know how she feels, like when she would feel so torn about that, because she knew she would have to come on and make a video and kind of explain herself. And, and some days she would get kind of irritated. She wishes that she could have just sold a baby and nobody would have cared. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of techniques to help the process and the bonding. But for me, I have realized that you just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You can't foresee the future. So I try just not to put so much pressure on it. If the feeling isn't there, it isn't there. And I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to try to go out of my way and I'll give it a day, maybe 2, but I won't go into like a whole week or a month of going back and forth and debating on keeping a baby, because it's just, I think it's, a lot of time and effort that in your heart, the decision has already been made. So why fight that? And I hope that kind of makes sense to everybody out there. I hope I answered those questions. I answered them the best I could. And honestly, in my perspective and my viewpoint, that, to be true to you guys and tell you that, it just happens. Sometimes you got the bond and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you'll get a baby one day and open it up and love it. And then 2 weeks later, you don't. And that happens in all kinds of things that you purchase and you buy, not just our dolls. I'm sure you ladies out there have bought many things, and then a week later you regretted buying it, or you're like, God, why did I buy this? Or, oh, I just don't like it anymore. Or your styles change. Sometimes in this hobby, our styles change, and our collections change by our mood. Or maybe for a while we want little babies, and then a month or 2 later you want bigger babies, or you want toddlers, or you want sleeping and then you want awake. So I just try to go with the flow of the water, and just not fight it, because it's just a hobby. It's something that's supposed to be fun and relaxing. And I don't want to overthink it and overanalyze it to death, where it's just like, God, I'm exhausted, So, yeah, I didn't even put her shoes on with all this talking. Actually done pretty good. I just looked at the time. So I would encourage you guys, if you want to do this tag, I will leave Inez, the channel link at the bottom, and you guys can go over to her channel and watch her video. And she has the questions in the description bar. Jot those down and answer the tag, because it's very interesting to see what other people have to say about this topic. I think it's very interesting, because we all go through this battle, and I think every collector does, no matter if you collect reborns, if you collect cars, if you collect purses, if you collect shoes, if you collect whatever. I think everybody has a hard time deciding to keep or to sell, For a quick example, my husband, he works for Budweiser, and he collects Budweiser memorabilia, especially the vintage stuff. And he has a collection of steins. Some are new and some are old. And one day we were walking through the store and he comes to me and he says, you know what? I think I'm going to sell my whole collection of Steins. And he has a lot, ladies. He has a lot. And I turned to him and I said, really? He goes, yeah, it's just time. I'm kind of out of it now. And I said, is that all you want to sell, or do you want to sell other things that are in the, Budweiser collection? He goes, no, just the Steins. I think I'm past that. I think I want to do more signage and beer taps and beer bottles and things. And I go, okay, honey, whatever you want to do. And, he made his decision. He didn't think about it for a week or two. He just made a decision and he sold them. So I think we have to just really just take a deep breath and not put so much pressure on us. And if you make the decision, then just stick with it. If that is your, just go with your gut. Listen to your gut. It will never, ever steer you wrong. When I have tried to steer from that and override what my gut feeling is, that's always been a mistake. And I've always gone back to what my gut told me in the first place. So, yeah. Okay, guys, that's about it. Have a wonderful evening. Take care, and I will change Lucas in the next video. All right, ladies? Here's my sweet little girl. All dressed. Look at her. She looks so precious. We just used the same headband. It just matched perfectly. So I'm going to take her out in the living room and go watch some TV. All right. Thanks, Inez, for the wonderful tag. Awesome tag to get the tag juices flowing there for the new week. Thanks for watching, everyone. Love you guys. Toodles.